This is Matt Hurt at Obsessive Viewer on Twitter.
This is Tiny at Obsessive Tiny on Letterboxd.
And this is ObsessiveViewer.com's The Obsessive Viewer Podcast. And welcome to The Obsessive Viewer. We're a movie and TV podcast that covers a specific topic, be it genre, trope, movie, or show each episode. You can find more of our work at ObsessiveViewer.com, more of our podcasts at ObsessiveViewer.com/podcasts. You can also like us on Facebook and join the Facebook group at Facebook.com/TheObsessiveViewer. And finally, you can support us on Patreon at Patreon.com/ObsessiveViewer at the minimum rate of $1 per month for an exclusive RSS feed with content recorded specifically for Patreon supporters. And if you bump that pledge up to $5 or more, you get access to a bevy of video reaction review videos that we have of movies that we see in the theater. So we're here, Extended Potpourri, episode 301. Tiny, how's it going?
It's good. It's good.
Good. We just did a Patreon thing talking about your little training trip to Louisville, and a bevy, second time using that word, woo. Let's see if we can go for the trifecta.
Jesus.
But yeah, a bunch of different topics and stuff, so hope you guys on Patreon enjoyed that. Tiny, it feels like it's been a while since we have done like an extended potpourri episode of Obsessive Viewer, you and I. How's it going?
It's going pretty good, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna basically just kind of go back and forth about stuff we've watched, but before we actually get into the extended potpourri, I do want to dedicate some time, in this episode to talk about the launch of Disney Plus, which, as of this recording, it is now almost 48 hours old? No.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, well, it launched at like 3 a.m., yeah, about 48 hours. Anyway, 2 days old. So, Tiny, what's your experience been like? And you haven't listened to episode 300 yet.
I haven't.
Okay. That was a special Disney Plus preview, so
right.
Guys, check that out. But yeah, Tiny, how's your experience been with Disney Plus? What was your excitement level? How was the experience getting it and everything?
Expectations or whatever, like, yeah. You asked me like 4 questions.
I did. I know.
I was excitement level. I was excited as heck just because of the Mandalorian, live action Star Wars TV show that, like, yeah,
the little Star Wars thing.
Yeah, hook, line, and sinker. Yeah. So that's what I was most excited for. But basically my experience has been like nothing but like fantastic with it so far.
That's awesome.
Signing up for it took 2 minutes, you know.
Did you pre-order it?
I signed up for it before it launched, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a week before.
Yeah.
And then like the day that it, you know, we didn't get it at 3:00 in the morning, or we didn't try to. But like Tuesday evening when the day that it launched, like we opened up our Amazon Fire Stick and like it was right there, and it was like, click here to download the app, and we did, and signed in easy as hell.
Nice.
And the user interface is like,
it's
just beautiful,
gorgeous,
slick, easy to use,
gorgeous.
Yeah, really nice.
So hot. I don't know why.
But yeah, and then there's stuff on there that like I just didn't know was going to be on there.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Like one thing that I found that totally, like we kept, as we were scrolling through it, we're like, oh, this, like, oh, bedknobs and broomsticks, and oh, Rescuers Down Under. We kept doing that. And my biggest one was that they have the entire series of X-Men, the animated series.
Oh, yeah.
From the 90s. Cause like, as soon as I saw it, I immediately texted my brother, cause we used to watch that shit like every day.
Nice.
And so I shared my login with him, and he was like, dude.
That's awesome.
So that was one of the biggest things that I didn't know. I didn't know The Simpsons was going to be on there.
Oh, really? That's
not.
been very big. Have you heard about the kind of controversy around it?
No.
Oh, so, I'm a little rusty on what exactly it is, but basically, FX had the rights for every Simpsons ever.
Right.
And I think when they first went on FX, there was an issue with the aspect ratio. So like the original, like I think the early seasons of the show, they were broadcast in 4:3 aspect ratio. So it's like the square box, but they were remastered or whatever to be widescreen. And in doing that, it has actually, it like obviously stretches out the screen and cuts off a considerable amount of like animation from view. So when you go in and watch the early episodes of The Simpsons, you're missing out on plenty of sight gags because that's what the show is like has a lot of stuff to.
Yeah.
Has a lot of stuff to. I don't know what that means. But yeah, so hopefully Disney like fixes that like now.
Yeah.
Because that is bothersome.
Huh.
Another kind of downside to, or not downside, but another kind of thing that makes me kind of a little, I don't know, is that it doesn't seem to track like where you're at in a series.
Really?
Yeah, like I watched like 2 episodes of The Simpsons and then went back to The Simpsons, and it's like you just manually go to the episode you're on.
Huh.
Which hopefully they update that.
Yeah.
But those are the only issues that I've had, like,
cool.
with it. So how do you like it?
It's great so far. Like we watched episode 1 of The Mandalorian, and I didn't realize how much of the content was going to be in 4K.
Oh yeah.
Because Mandalorian's 4K. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be, I think, pretty huge.
Yeah, I think that there was, like, they basically just surprised everyone. It's like, oh, hey, by the way, Star Wars 4K, everything.
Yeah.
And like that was something that I don't think they even announced. It's just like that's there.
Right.
Did you hear about the I don't even want to spend too much time on it because fucking anything. But the Han and Greedo thing. Have you heard about that?
No, but no.
Yeah, I've caught a little bit of wind of it, but when you go watch A New Hope, like it's using like I don't know, it's remastered from like something George Lucas like remastered and everything like 7 years ago or something like that.
Okay.
And in doing that, he changed the scene again.
Oh my god.
So now I think Greedo shoots, there's a whole thing where like Greedo says he has like an extra line, he has an extra line that's at it. He says like McClaney or hang on. It's, yeah, let me actually look it up because while I'm looking it up, it's funny because there was something going around like Twitter and everything where, within the last couple of weeks where people were claiming that, Star Wars didn't have a toxic fandom until Disney bought Star Wars.
Yeah, that's funny.
Right? And, like, I was thinking about that. It's like the fucking Han and Greedo thing. Like,
yeah.
That, oh, Jesus.
That I could not care less about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
As a big fan, I just don't care.
Yeah.
I don't watch the remastered version.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was lucky enough to get the DVDs that have the originals on there. That's like all I watch.
Now that you can presumably watch it in 4K, are you going to have to?
Yeah, I'm going to definitely watch it at some point. But even then, I just don't think I'm going to care.
Yeah. Well, actually, you did see the special editions once because Mike's Bachelor Party.
Yeah, I've seen them before. But like if when I choose to watch it, I usually just go for the original.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I don't know. It's something, it's stupid.
Yeah.
So yeah, Greedo says McClunky or McClunky before shooting. Like that, he just says it.
Okay.
Yeah. And, Twitter's been having fun with it and I've been having fun spectating. But yeah, it's, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I hit the mic. Sorry. So yeah, but yeah. So Disney Plus is cool. I have had some good experiences with it. I woke up early Tuesday and I downloaded the app, signed in and everything, and then I purposely like downloaded a bunch of movies to my phone from it because I was like, it's going to be strained. Like it's going to have issues, which to Disney's credit, I only got the error message like twice during the day.
Oh, okay.
And then once today after work, and that's it. Like everything's been running smoothly.
In that regard, we didn't have any issues last night when we were going through it the first time. So
nice. Yeah, mine cropped up usually in the morning is when it came up. When people were waking up and everything.
Sure.
Which, by the way, did you see the announcement of how many people signed up for it?
No, I didn't.
Do you want to take a guess? Let's play a game. Day one release of Disney Plus. How many users do you think signed up for Disney Plus?
Worldwide?
Actually,
is it available worldwide?
It's not. Okay. Just in the U.S. I think it's only here. And then it's going to expand and be in the U.K. next year, I think.
Okay. So just the U.S.
It might be North America. So
North America.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess. I'm going to say 40 million.
Oh. It's 10 million.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of thought, kind of expected you to lowball us.
No, well, I mean, it's fucking Disney Plus.
Exactly.
And I don't know, like, I mean, how many people have Netflix? Aren't there like 100 million? Well, I guess that's worldwide.
I think, yeah, it's like 100 million. Yeah.
That's worldwide.
And that's after several years.
Right.
Too.
That's true.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, Jesus Christ. That's crazy. Wow.
Like, just like that's day one.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
And I mean, that's $70 million a month.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. For $7. So yeah.
Yeah. Disney Plus hits 10 million subscribers in 24 hours.
You know, cause they need the money.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, it's big. I'm excited for us to talk about it more in the coming weeks in the podcast.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, they have so much stuff there that I was like thinking about this on the drive home from work. I'm like, man, they have like originals, and then they also have like the back catalog of everything and all that. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, you could, this isn't a pitch. But I was like, you could just make just a Disney Plus podcast.
Oh my God. You really could. I mean,
and then like I was daydreaming of the format of it without realizing like
there's something wrong with you.
I know. Well, wait till you hear this. So we've released 300 episodes of The Obsessive Viewer.
Yeah.
And in my daydream about a fantasy Disney Plus podcast that will never be on our part, I thought like, I wonder what kind of format that could take. Because they have a ton of stuff on there, and I was just like completely not making the connection of the last 6.5 years of my life. But I was like, oh, you could just do like a featured review of an original movie or show, and then just like fill like the back end of the episode with just like what you've watched on the service in the interim between episodes. It's like, that's The Obsessive Viewer. I just
right.
I just pitched The Obsessive Viewer. So look forward to look forward to our new podcast, ObsessiveViewer.com's Disney Plus Matt and Tiny equals fun.
Oh my God. No. Hard pass.
Yes. I do think that we should, assuming that, we're alive, occasionally do like I was trying to think of how we would do like a Netflix picks or Prime selections type of episode, but just for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I was thinking like we could just do that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Sure. So
I kind of, as far as like the business side of it, now that all this new stuff is coming out, people are like, oh, there's so many services now, I can't afford them all.
Yeah.
I think, which I'm starting to feel that myself, but
sure.
I think Disney should. Their streaming service should include all of their business. So it should include ABC.
Oh, yeah.
It should include ESPN.
That's the issue, because I think it's an issue with streaming rights. Like the actual rights to get streaming. Because like if you go and like, say you want to watch The Last Jedi on Disney Plus.
Okay.
You go to, and this is something I thought was pretty interesting of them to do. Go to The Last Jedi. It will say, unfortunately, due to licensing issues, this will not be available on Disney Plus until December something of 2019.
Oh, because it's on Netflix?
Because it's on Netflix.
Okay.
So basically, once the streaming rights expire for that, it'll convert over to Disney Plus. Yeah.
Well, but still, like, all their ABC TV shows.
Yeah.
I think they should have an ABC section on Disney Plus. I think they should have an ESPN section on Disney Plus, which is a whole other ballgame because
literally
nice. But like the rights for streaming sports and for different sport, like that's a huge clusterfuck.
Yeah, I agree, but I also because there's ESPN Plus is a thing,
right? But I'm saying they should merge.
I know, yeah. Down the road, maybe they will, but like I know Hulu has a lot of ABC stuff too, and I think Disney owns the majority of Hulu.
Oh, they do.
Everything. I think so. Now they do at least.
I know that there's a bundle you can get where you get Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus.
Yeah,
and it's a good deal. I think it's like $20.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah,
didn't really interest me, obviously.
Right.
I'm allergic to sports.
Well, we have Hulu Plus. That's how we watch TV.
Yeah.
So that it didn't make sense for us.
When you say Hulu, do you mean like Hulu Live TV?
Like Hulu Live, whatever it's called.
Yeah. Do you mind if I ask how much that is?
I don't remember. Paige pays our bills.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's $30 or $40 a month.
That sounds about right. Because I did a free trial of it to watch the Oscars and then canceled it immediately after it. So I have no idea how I'm going to watch the Oscars this year.
Oh my God. It's not bad.
Nice.
It's there's good things and bad things about it.
Okay. Yeah. I saw a tweet on the topic of like, oh, there's too many streaming services. I saw a tweet that like I was going to kind of at least screenshot and tweet about because I was just like, come on, guys. But I was just like, ugh, it's whatever. So it was just a breakdown of like how much each streaming service costs and everything. And then it ended with like, cord cutting wasn't as cost effective as we were led to believe. And I'm like, still, and I'm a broken record. Fucking no one is forcing you to have all of these streaming services.
Right.
That it's not a thing. Like, I got Disney Plus, and I canceled my Shudder and HBO. And when Watchmen ends, I'm gonna re-up HBO for a month and watch Watchmen. And then probably cancel it again until, The Outsider comes out in January.
Yeah.
Like, it is not that complicated.
No.
I don't understand, like, I am really terrible with my money. And even I know that you can do that. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And then I guess a lot of people were replying to this person. And so, like, there was a thread of, like they had added tweets to it saying, like, I know that this and this and this, and basically backtracking their entire point. And basically saying, like, I know that it's a la carte and you don't need to have everything and everything. I'm just saying that it wasn't what we led. It was as cost effective as we were led to believe. It's like, okay, who sat down and told you, like, hey, you can have everything you want and have it cost less than cable? Like,
right.
Who actually told you that?
Yeah.
And like, what is your actual issue? Like, if you have all of those streaming services at the same time, you do not have enough hours in the day to watch all of it.
For real.
Like,
Yep.
It's so annoying to me.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, Disney Plus is going to own everything. Disney is going to buy everything, and then we're just going to have one streaming service, and it'll have everything.
Right.
It'll cost $3,000.
For real.
Yeah. Anything on Disney Plus that you're looking forward to checking out? Because we'll do like a proper Disney Plus potpourri in a few weeks, I think.
Yeah. I mean, The Mandalorian is top of the list, and the first episode did not disappoint.
Nice.
I'll put it that way.
Same here. Honestly, I really liked it. As much shit as I give Star Wars, I'm like, hey, this is what I want out of a Star Wars story.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think just revisiting a lot of the stuff from my childhood, obviously the nostalgia is going to be off the charts.
Yeah.
And it's just some of the stuff that I never saw. Like the first thing we did, we watched we talked about like the rescuers and the rescuers down under. I had never actually seen the rescuers.
Oh, okay.
Because Down Under came out in 1990 when we were kids.
Oh, yeah.
But the original The Rescuers is from like 1977. And so I had never actually seen it. She was like, oh, okay. Well, so they're only an hour and 15 minutes apiece.
I love that too.
Yeah.
Like I watched the day of launch, and we'll talk about this in the Potpourri episode we'll do later, but I watched 4 movies.
Wow.
Total. Because I watched it at work and came home and fell asleep during Bambi. By the way, had no idea Bambi was a boy. Like, my entire life I've thought, oh, Bambi's a girl.
So did I, actually.
Yeah, he's a boy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's an effeminate name.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, just, watching some of that stuff I've never watched.
I don't want to spoil episode 300 for you, because I did a preview of Disney Plus and everything, and I will say that of the screeners that I got, there's one screener that stood out to me and made me really excited for it. And I don't want to tell you what it is, Tiny, but I think it will shock you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So listen to episode 300.
Okay. Well.
And then watch the thing that I am championing on that episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will do.
Yep. But yeah, my experience, I downloaded the app, downloaded a bunch of movies, watched movies. It was fun. But yeah, I just very clean user interface, very like non-problematic across the board.
Yeah.
The one thing I was nervous about had nothing to do with the app itself. So I was very excited about this because there are so many classic Disney movies that are just complete gaps to me.
Okay.
Either because I never saw them or because I saw them when I was very little and have no memory of it.
Yeah.
So, part of that, the reason for that is because, or the reason that I maybe have seen them is because my mom is a huge Disney fan.
Okay.
Like, I remember, and I talked about this in the last episode, so I'll be brief. I remember, like, us getting, mailed in VHS tapes of just like promotional stuff for Disney parks.
Wow.
And my mom watching that. And then, like, we went to Disney World when I was like 5, and I have no memory of it.
Yeah. Except
for, walking down a street and I think making fun of my brother for having a pimple. So that's my entire recollection of that. But I was like sitting there at work and I was like, I'm watching the original Lady and the Tramp and I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool because I have everything here.
Right.
Then one of the cool things about Disney Plus is that it allows you to have up to 10 devices linked to your account.
Oh, okay.
And you can stream up to four people can stream simultaneously.
Oh, nice.
So that's great.
That's really nice.
Yeah. So I'm like, so I sent a text to my mom and I was like, hey, do you know how to download an app on your phone? And she's like, she was like, I don't know. Usually people at work did it for me. Does it cost money?
Oh my God.
And I'm like, okay, well, and I explained it to her and everything. I'm like, I'm going to give you my sign-in information for Disney Plus. It's this new streaming thing that's going to change your life. It has everything.
Yeah.
And so I was like thinking, I was like, okay, well, I know you have a smart TV, so tell me what kind of smart TV you have. And like, she took a picture of like the model number and everything. And like, I looked on the Disney Plus website. It wasn't compatible.
Damn.
So I'm like, oh, okay. So I was like thinking, okay, I can go buy a Chromecast.
Yeah.
Download the app to her phone. Really, really, really hope that she can understand how to cast something to her screen. And then I was talking to my friends Molly and Yuri, and Molly was like, just get her a Roku. That's much more straightforward. So I went and got her a Roku, got it set up and everything, and now she has Disney Plus.
Nice.
Yeah. And she hasn't watched any of it yet. So
bummer.
Yeah, but I'm excited for her.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited, and we'll do a proper potpourri. I will recommend, Tiny, that you watch the Imagineering story.
The Imagineering story.
Yes. It is a 6-hour, episodes.
Episodes, okay.
Yeah. Documentary series that's all about, Disney.
Okay. At the beginnings of Disney and stuff?
Yeah. The first episode is all about, Disneyland and what went into creating it and everything. And then episode 2, which I think comes out Friday, is all about Disney World.
Oh, cool.
And I swear to God, watching that, first of all, tons and tons and tons of archival footage,
cool.
photographs, interviews and stuff. It is stacked with information, and it makes me want to go to Disney so much.
Really?
It was so, I was sitting there thinking, I wonder how much it would actually cost to go to, and then I was thinking it'd be a nice present to my mom or something. But anyway, yeah, it's really cool. And that's, yeah. And then, yeah,
nice.
About it.
Cool.
So should we go into our extended potpourri?
Absolutely.
Okay. We've done, appeasing the Disney gods.
Yes.
So, yeah, Tiny, do you want to get us kicked off with the potpourri? How many things do you think you have?
That's the thing. I was looking through, and I've been watching, a lot of stuff, but, it's all, it's just not that interesting. I
Sure.
want to talk about it, but it's not I don't know. Watching a lot of TV and stuff. Haven't been watching a lot of movies.
Okay.
But the one thing that I'm pretty excited to talk about, and I kind of hope you've seen it. I'm not sure if we really talked about it much. Is it came out a while ago, but The Boys on Amazon.
I haven't
Amazon
seen it.
Prime, you haven't seen it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've heard really good things.
Okay.
So tell me about The Boys.
Yes, The Boys. I absolutely freaking adored this show.
Nice.
It's my favorite new show of 2019.
That's awesome.
It's so good.
Dang.
I didn't really know that it was based on actually based on comic books.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not familiar with the comics at all or the authors of the comics. I didn't even look it up after I watched the show or anything like that. But it's I sort of plagiarizing this idea, but it's super refreshing. That's a bad word to use because it's a super refreshing take on superheroes.
Okay.
Because, we are, 2019 was the peak of superhero worship with, Avengers Endgame and all that stuff. And it's we've been worshiping and in love with these characters for over a decade, and they're the king of they're, on top of the mountain right now. And so it's just the perfect timing for a show like this to come out where the premise of the show is that in the real world, there are superheroes like that, but they've been corporatized.
Oh, okay.
It's a corporation who kind of owns them in a way.
Sure.
And they lease out superheroes to certain cities in a law enforcement capacity. And
wow.
There's this group of 7 called the 7 who are the top superheroes in the world. But they're horrible piece of shit people, just awful.
Wow.
Basically evil.
Okay.
But they're presented as superheroes.
Wow.
And it's all about PR and how they present themselves, and
that sounds interesting as shit.
Yeah. And then there's this group who they're never referred to as the boys, but they're the boys who find out that they're actually these awful, horrible people who do these terrible things, and they kind of team up to try to expose it and take them down.
Awesome.
And man, it is just such a great, just perfect, like I said, perfect timing for that kind of story.
Okay.
That kind of comic book superhero story.
Nice.
The acting is out of this world.
Nice.
The biggest lead, the biggest name I think is Carl Urban. He plays kind of one of the main guys. Nice. He's one of the boys. But the lead superhero, he's the most popular superhero in the world, is he's called Homelander.
Okay.
He's Superman basically.
Oh, nice.
And the actor is Anthony Starr.
Okay.
Who I hadn't seen in anything, but he is just phenomenal.
Nice.
I mean, because he just watch the show, and his character is just so diabolically awful.
That's awesome.
But then when he's like out in public, he's like, "Hey fans, how you doing?" And like super like politician slick.
God, that is awesome.
It is like a beautiful thing to watch him do it.
Nice.
I mean, it is just a masterfully crafted show. Elizabeth Shue is also in it. She plays like the CEO of the corporation.
Okay.
And so she like tries to like, up the PR, the positive PR for these guys, and like sell leases to certain cities. Like there's a plot point where she's trying to like lease a new superhero to like the mayor of Baltimore.
Okay.
Because Baltimore doesn't have a superhero, and I was like, dude, this is just nuts.
That's awesome. I want to say that Dan Trachtenberg directed at least the first episode.
Okay.
So that piqued my interest in it.
Sure.
Clearly not enough since I haven't watched it. But I've got a backlog.
Right.
It's a lot.
Yep. But I just can't say enough good things about it. Like I gave it a 10 out of 10 on IMDb. Like,
God, that's awesome.
I mean, it is an absolutely phenomenal. And also the visuals are really great. We're used to like obviously the big budget, beautiful versions of Marvel that Marvel's presented, and it's not that, it's more gritty, but there's nothing that's like, oh, that looked like crap, or that was like low budget. Like one of the 7 is invisible. Okay. And like he gets into a fight with somebody, and so there's somebody having a fight with an invisible man, and like as I was watching it, I was like, man, this is just like, it's something you would see in a big budget Marvel movie. Like it had that quality to it. So
that's awesome.
Amazon didn't skip on it, so that's good.
Sweet. I just added it to my watch list.
Okay, nice. Yeah. I cannot wait for the second season. Paige even watched it with me, and she loved it. Yeah. Sweet. My dad recommended it. He watched it first, and he was absolutely right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds like an interesting kind of counter to Watchmen.
Yeah.
Concept, I guess. But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. It's just phenomenal.
Nice. And it's only 8 episodes, so.
Right.
It's not bad.
Right.
Cool. Should I give you my first one?
Sure.
Okay. So on Letterboxd, I have a list of 2019 releases that I've seen. And in the notes for each one, I have links to the corresponding podcast or review that I wrote, in it. So kind of as we get toward the end of the year, I kind of want to go through this list chronologically and fill the gaps of the ones I haven't talked about or written about. Okay. Basically. And this first one is one that I talked about, but it's on Patreon. So, but yeah, it's, Brittany Runs a Marathon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You didn't get a chance to see?
No, I was supposed to go with you and I had to cancel.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I got stuck at work, I think.
You haven't watched the Patreon video, right?
No.
Okay, good. I mean, it was the first Patreon video. I kind of badmouth you a lot. It was very cathartic. You motherfucker. I'm kidding. Joking. So joking. Anyway, Brittany Runs a Marathon is directed by Paul Downs Colazo. Looks like this is his directorial debut. A young woman decides to make positive changes in her life by training for the New York City Marathon. Stars Jillian Bell as the titular Brittany. And it's got some pretty good supporting cast. Michaela Watkins is kind of one of her confidants. Lil Ray Howery is also in it, and there's some other people. So this movie is really pretty solid. Like I wouldn't say I wasn't expecting it to be this good, but like I actually was really into it. She's an overweight woman who kind of has self-destructive tendencies, and she wants to kind of like, she decides to make a change and like start losing weight and run, and with a goal of running a marathon, obviously. Okay. And what I found really interesting about it is that it's not like it doesn't lean into the comedy. It's more a dramedy than anything. It's a very sincere kind of thing. Very charming performance by Jillian Bell, right? Yeah, by Jillian Bell. Very good. There's some really good stuff between her and like her friends as she is like losing weight. Like there is this thing where it's like her roommate. How to describe it? It's like her roommate. It's not like her roommate wants her to stay overweight, but sort of does. Like,
Okay.
it's this very interesting and well written, like cutting kind of thing where it's like, well, you're not really a runner, like very like negging her.
Oh my gosh.
And everything. And it's very like the drama of it's very like it comes through really clear, and it was really pretty solid.
Nice.
Yeah, I rated it 4 stars on Letterboxd, but I think that should probably get down to 3.5.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a very solid movie. Very sincere and kind of heartwarming and uplifting in a way.
Okay, nice.
Because yeah, and I like that like there's a romantic subplot, but it doesn't become too dramatic or anything, or it doesn't like it does a good balancing act between like her personal journey and the drama surrounding her and everything. Like the drama is from her experience of getting into shape and like experiencing relapses and setbacks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a very, it feels very authentic. So,
Okay.
Yeah. So I liked it.
Cool. Yeah, I remember I got stuck in, out in Illinois.
Oh yeah.
At a, it's actually a Hershey's manufacturing
Oh wow.
plant. Like they make like mini size like Heath bars and Milk Duds and yeah,
I'm so
I remember
hungry.
that. Yeah. But yeah, it smelled like heaven.
God, that's awesome.
But yeah, it's 2 hours away.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like replacing the entire system, and it's one of those things where you can't leave.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'll tell you, I'll ask this off mic because it involves what I think is the name of your company that you work for.
Okay.
It's a stupid joke. It's dumb.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll probably forget about it, so whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, that's Brittany Runs a Marathon. Brief little review, but yeah, it was good. I recommend checking it out. Probably it won't make my top 10 or anything, but
Okay.
not a bad time to spend a couple hours.
Okay.
What's next for the Tynester?
The Tynester.
Never called you that before, and never will again. I
Please
apologize.
Please don't. No.
Yes.
So I finally, again, something that came out a while ago. I finally got around to watching the movie Tag.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. With, John Hamm and Jake Johnson and Jeremy Renner, Ed Helms. Yeah. So I had heard you and Mike talk like pretty highly about it, and I think it was
I think so.
on one of your honorable mentions.
It may have been on Mike's because I was
Okay.
kind of just maybe it's just the distance from it now,
Okay,
but I was
okay.
just like it's okay.
Gotcha. Okay. But I'd heard other people say as well that they liked it a lot, and I was like, really? Okay. That surprised me.
Sure.
But having watched it, I totally get it.
Oh, nice.
I really dug it a lot.
Awesome.
I think it was such a ridiculous premise that it's one of those things where it's so ridiculous that it works.
Right.
Like Anchorman. Like that's such a dumb idea for a movie, but it just works. And I think part of it was the cast. They all just worked together so well.
Definitely.
And it was really fun to see Jeremy Renner in a non-dramatic role, and it's just how well he took to comedy. That was really one of the pleasing parts of the movie. But there's a line, and this isn't really a spoiler or anything, but the movie's been out for almost 2 years now too.
Right.
But so they're getting together for the rehearsal dinner. There's a wedding going on.
Right.
And all the friends are invited. It involves one of the friends. So they're at the rehearsal dinner, and the group is talking to the fiance, played by Leslie Bibb, who's obviously getting married, the bride, and she's kind of trying to reassure them that she's cool with what's going on. She understands they've had this game of tag going on their whole lives and all that stuff, and she's like, She goes, so I understand that it's about to get crazy. And Jake Johnson goes, it sure the fuck is. Like the way he says it, he says it like so nonchalantly. Like I cannot do it justice trying to recreate it, but he's just like, it sure the fuck is. Just like the way he said it, like I've been saying that ever since I saw the movie. And it's just like, we had to rewind it a few times. I don't know why, but that line just really stuck with me. It was so funny.
The line, cause I saw it with Kirsten, and the line that Will referenced here and there is when I think, it was Tag, just a throwaway line where I don't even remember what is said, but Hannibal Buress's response is, time is a construct. It's just, I don't know. But yeah.
I don't know if I remember that one.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The thing that it was not on my honorable mention, so it must have been on Mike's.
Okay.
Yeah, and I thought it was solid. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
The thing that the thing that kind of took me out of it, or I wasn't really into, was like kind of at the end, it kind of felt a little bit like they forced kind of a dramatic kind of subplot in that it didn't feel like it kind of came out of nowhere for me.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't buy into it. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
It kind of worked for me.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, I ended up really liking that movie a lot.
Nice.
I think it's on HBO.
Okay. I think so too.
I think that's how we watched it. So
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, and that was like a couple months ago. But yeah, it was good. Well, what's next on your list?
Or in other words, would you say, Tag, I admit?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Okay, so this next one is shout out to Robert in Utah. It's Joker.
Okay.
Basically, if you listen to one of an episode, a few episodes ago, this is right before Heartland. I think you and I did an episode, and then I mentioned all right, well, Fecus is about to come over and we're going to record a review of Joker. Fecus did not come over. He got stuck at work, and then Heartland happened, and it's we just never recorded it.
Ah, dang.
Yeah. So it's been a little while since I've seen Joker, but, I do want to, bring it up because it is on my list of not being listed on the podcast. So
yeah, I'm curious what you thought about it.
Yeah. So, there was a lot of I guess negative buzz, a lot of stuff surrounding it, pre-release.
Yeah.
That kind of made me a little hesitant because Todd Phillips is, some of his comments were just okay, sounds like just a massive tool and kind of an idiot. Talking about how you could, this is what, why I did Joker, the reason I did Joker is because you can't do comedy these days because everything's offensive. It's okay, people are doing fine with comedy, guy. But, so I was kind of worried that it was going to be and there was a lot of talk about the incel community was going to gravitate toward it and everything. And so I thought it was going to be a super, masculine insecurity.
Yeah.
Masked, a phony masculine statement that's masking insecurity.
Okay.
But it was really well done.
Nice.
Really liked it. It's the performance from Joaquin Phoenix is really, really good. He isn't playing it up he's playing this mentally unstable character, but he's not playing it up as a comic book archetype or anything. He's doing something unique with it. And it's the story is very interesting. It held my attention. There was something that they were doing, there was a road that they were going down in the movie that I was okay, if they do this, fuck this. But I think that was intentional, cause they lead you down a certain path and then it works in a very unique way. And I was kind of smitten by that.
Huh.
And there's a few Easter eggs or a few references to Batman, just the lore of the mythology and everything. But for the most part, it's a pretty straightforward guy who's emotionally unstable that's pushed to a breaking point. kind of thing. It's that type of story first and foremost. Couple things about it. Zazie Beetz is in it, who I love, but she is given fuck all to do in this movie.
Really?
Yeah, it's really a shame.
Dang.
And like the route that they go with that character is kind of, I mean, it's kind of obvious, and I think that's kind of the point, but it's also like it's pigeonholing her to just being just a stand-in for a character more than anything. Which that was disappointing because I really like her as an actress, but but man, like, just it's an interesting like character study of this character, and like I was thinking, like, man, they could do this to other characters. Like, I would love to see a Riddler, one, and just and it like that's dangerous. Like, I don't want to be like, I want another franchise, but I'm like, they could really do some interesting stuff with some characters.
I mean, that's the upside, or that's the one thing that DC has going for it is they're famous for having great villains.
Oh yeah.
So they should capitalize on that.
Totally. Yeah. And I will say that the violence in it it's so unexpected and unexpectedly artistic in a way.
Huh.
So it's like it's not glorifying it, or it's not gratuitous per se. It's like feels authentic and real, and like it just feels like an extension of this characterization that we're following of the character. And it's like, it's like just an extension of his instability or his unstableness. It's a really interesting movie.
Cool. I feel like that's what you described as kind of the curse of having a really great villain, or like, I feel like it's kind of a characteristic of the Joker, is that he like overwhelms the movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, even like the episodes of like Batman the Animated Series that have the Joker in it, like, you kind of forget that like you're rooting for Batman,
right?
And that he's the good guy, because Batman is so, like, he doesn't know what's going on, and he's so thrown for a loop,
right,
that he's like off his game the whole time, and so it's like you're just focused on how nuts the Joker is.
Totally.
And I mean, like, Heath Ledger just completely ruled that movie, rightfully so. Even Jack Nicholson in the original Batman movie, you know, I mean, that character just overwhelms everything, and so I feel like a lot of the ancillary characters, or even your lead, like your main character, kind of gets lost in the shuffle with the character, with the Joker. You kind of forget that, you know, that Batman in The Dark Knight compromises his morals to an extent, and does some like, you know, questionable things in that movie, throughout the movie, because you're just kind of focused on how crazy the Joker is. So I feel like Zazie Beetz kind of getting lost in the background is an unfortunate consequence of having a character like that. But
totally.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's impossible or anything,
right,
to have other good characters, but it's a blessing and a curse, I guess, is what I'd say about it. So
also, I just want to comment on Gotham in it.
Oh, okay.
It is like, do
you know where they filmed it? Like, what city?
I don't actually. Okay. I should look that. Probably like Toronto or something.
Okay.
But it harkens back to like Tim Burton's Gotham.
Okay.
In the original, so that very kind of grimy kind of period, somewhat now period, like it was present day back then,
right,
sort of. But like it feels like it's existing in like the 70s or maybe early 80s.
Okay.
And it's just like, it's so just grimy and grungy and just dirty, the way that you would think Gotham would be pre-Batman.
Okay.
And there, I don't want to spoil any surprises or anything, but like just the places that the movie goes are just really like, it connects really interestingly and very like well.
Oh, nice. Todd Phillips wrote it too, didn't he?
I think so.
Wow. It's wild.
Yeah. Really interesting movie.
Nice.
I think just from sheer amount of movies that I've watched, I don't think this is going to make the cut for my top 10, but it may be an honorable mention.
Cool.
Okay, principal photography took place in New York City, Jersey City, and Newark, New Jersey.
Okay.
So yeah.
Newark is fitting.
Yep.
New York's a shithole.
Yeah. So I've heard. But yeah, I give Joker 4 stars, and yeah, I was very impressed.
Cool.
Yeah. Also Robert De Niro was awesome because he's
nice. Yeah.
So what's your next one?
I guess I'll mention, Paige and I have been watching through the Showtime series Shameless.
Okay, interesting.
It's on Netflix, yeah. And I had watched that show when it first came out, like the first 5 seasons, I want to say.
Okay.
I actually followed it.
That.
Yeah. And it's a really good show. The characters are great and the acting is just awesome. For those who don't know, it's kind of about a poor, a lower class family in South Chicago who it's basically the mother is MIA and the father is a raging, irresponsible alcoholic. And so the oldest sibling, played by Emmy Rossum, is 19 years old, and she basically raises her, I think, 5 brothers and sisters, who range in age from 17 down to basically a 2-year-old, a toddler.
Okay.
And so it's about basically her struggle and their struggle to, survive basically without any parents.
Wow.
And, it's just a really wild ride. William H. Macy plays the father, and he's a real degenerate, he refers to himself as an honest asshole. But it's just wild what these people go through and what lengths they go to make money so they can pay their bills as a bunch of, uneducated kids and stuff like that. It's a really great show. I did not realize it was still on the air.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The 10th season's about to air.
That's nuts.
Yeah, but I think, I don't think it's a spoiler. Emmy Rossum left the show.
Right.
At some point, I don't know when, but I think we just started season 7.
Wow.
So I was kind of hoping we'd have it done, but we kind of got focused on some other things.
Sure.
But it's a really good show. I think it's kind of the point we're at. It's starting to lose its luster a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I think it's been on the air a little bit too long, which I've mentioned several times how I think, the perfect amount of time for any show is basically 5 seasons, 60 episodes or so. Not that that's a cardinal rule, but I think once you start getting into 6, 7, 8, 9 seasons, it's it's time to end it. So,
right.
So I think I'm starting to feel that a little bit with season 7, but I highly recommend it. It's a real one of a kind story. Ironically, I think it's actually a remake from a British show.
I was going to be a dick and mention that.
Yeah,
British or Australian? I can't remember.
I want to say British.
Probably.
I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just clever. It's entertaining as all hell. There's just great characters in it. Yeah, it's really good. We're enjoying it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I may check that out at some time. I have harbored a crush for Emmy Rossum for quite a while.
That is warranted.
Yes.
She's a really great actress.
And yes, she is. Not to completely objectify her.
Right.
She's a very good actress.
And she's it's funny because her character is she's a ghetto girl, as they call her in the show. She's curses a lot and she drinks and she's frankly a slut, which she's a self-admittedly promiscuous girl.
Sure.
But in real life, Emmy Rossum speaks 5 languages and she's a traditionally trained opera singer and she's she's a Shakespearean actress.
Right.
And it's funny to think of her in this role. She's famous. She got famous when she was 14 or 15 when she was in the Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
And that's what she's most famous for. And now it's really cool to see her kind of break out of that image.
Right.
And do this show.
Let's also not let's not
forget about Dragon Ball Z.
Was she in Dragon Ball Z?
She was in Dragon Ball Z.
Seriously? I was going to say The Day After Tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that too. Yeah, she's in that.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z is horrendous.
Oh, wow. I didn't... Yeah.
It's really bad.
Is it live action?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I think it's Dragon Ball Z.
I I want to challenge you on that.
It's one of the Asian anime cartoons. They made it into, and it's her and he's also on Shameless. I can't think of his name. He's a pretty boy. He was on Lost. Justin Chatwin.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah.
Let me find. I thought it was Dragon Ball Z.
I'm looking that up now. She was also in Comet, which was a movie by the dude who did Mr. Robot. Dragon Ball Evolution.
Dragon Ball Evolution. There you go.
Is that Dragon Ball Z? I guess so.
It's that universe, I believe.
Yeah, 2.5 out of 10 stars with 67,000 votes.
I watched it.
Wow.
It is.
Why?
It's bad.
Oh, wow.
It's a bad movie.
Speaking of Justin Chatwin, and is there anything else on Shameless?
Nah.
Okay.
No.
Well, I'm going to double up this because this is more of a tangent than anything. Two things about Justin Chatwin. And I think I'll be able to spin this over to, I'll be able to transition into my next Potpourri segment.
Okay.
So Justin Chatwin, he was, back in 2010, he was like the, my pick for like understudy for the role of Eddie Dean in any Dark Tower thing. Cause obviously, Aaron Paul was tops, and then like Justin Chatwin, because he has like that. They look similar. Mm-hmm. I think that he would make a good Eddie Dean.
Yeah,
but I had I have some Google Play credit in gift cards and stuff, and I decided to rent a movie because I kind of like to do that at the end of the year. Toward the end of the year, I like to rent movies, but since I now am in the IFJA, I get tons of screeners, so I have Google Play credits that aren't used. So I found this indie comedy drama, called Summer Night. So Tiny, you'll know immediately, and I don't think I've mentioned this movie before, but you'll know immediately why I downloaded it, or why I rented this. A coming-of-age story about the complexities of young romantic relationships, and I'll add to it, that takes place over one summer night.
That's your game.
So that is my wheelhouse.
That's your jam.
It also has Annalee Tipton.
I like her.
Yeah, me too. Crazy Stupid Love? She was the baby.
Yeah, she was, yeah. She's in that, yeah.
Oh, she was also in, I think she was also in Two Night Stand with Miles Teller.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's so charming.
I've heard it's good, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, and also I know Lena Condor from something. Lana or Lena Condor from To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't seen that yet. Is she Asian?
She is.
Okay, yeah. She's the lead in that, right?
She is, yes. Okay. And then also, rounding out the cast is Eller Coltrane from Boyhood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I got about 15 to 20 minutes into this movie, and I was like, it's not hooking me.
Yeah.
And also like Justin Chatwin's first scene, it's so weird. It's like, I don't know if he's supposed to be an adult or like a teenager or early 20s like character, because he's like he's doing this weird affectation to his voice. He's like kind of like he doesn't look like this in the movie, but this is a description of like the character he's playing. It's not technically how he's made up in it, but it's like, this is the type of character he's doing. It's like he's sitting on like a country rocking chair with a piece of straw in his mouth. He actually is strumming an acoustic guitar.
Oh my God.
Just doling out relationship advice to these teenagers that are having like relationship hardships and stuff. But the thing, and it's so weird. It's like, I couldn't really place like what his relationship was to the other characters. I think he was the older brother of two kids. I don't know.
Okay.
But it's been like a month since I like stopped watching this. But, there was a line, like, I don't know what the actual line was, but this is a close approximation of what it was. But it's something like, don't worry your young head, little, lover or whatever. Just something is really like try hard for that.
Okay.
But the part where I was like, no, I'm tapping out is like, because like it has intersecting storylines. It was kind of interesting. It's clearly like an independent movie, and I want to give it like all the credit I can, because it's like, I mean, it's impossible. Like, it's insane, the thought of making a feature film. But like, there was like little like technical things, like they did like a shot. Instead of, it's like they couldn't afford or didn't have the expertise to do like a not crane, but like have like a camera mounted on a car to have like dialogue scenes between it.
Okay.
So like they just have an exterior shot of the car driving and then ADR voiceover for the conversation. It's jarring as hell.
It's rough.
Yeah, but the one line where I was like, or the one scene where I was like, okay, this is, I don't know what this is. And it's where I stopped it. And wasted like $3 of my Google Play credit. Justin Chatwin is comforting the brother, I guess, who's just gotten dumped, or like the girl he's into is into someone else, something like that. Again, this is like 20 minutes into the movie, and he's like, I know what'll cheer you up. And it's like played up like, oh, they're gonna like, they're gonna do like fun guy stuff. They're gonna do like, they're gonna play catch or something, or they're gonna do something fun. And like just immediately cuts to him with like a melon or something, throwing it, and then it cuts to the kid who has like a hatchet, and he's like he cuts the melon in half in the air, and I'm like, this is so, like, what?
That's random as shit.
It's like, it's so weird. Like,
wow.
It was weird, and I stopped it. So anyway, that's Summer Night. Maybe you might be into it. But anyway.
Wow.
The rough transition to my actual potpourri. El Camino. A Breaking Bad movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. You haven't watched this yet.
Oh, I have.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
Man, we should have just reviewed that.
I know.
Crap.
I forgot. I kind of forgot I watched it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So I thought it was pretty good.
Vince Gilligan, that fucking asshole, so good.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Because I tweeted this, and I know you're not on Twitter.
No, not really.
And I also letterboxed it, but I don't know if you read my review.
I don't think I did. So,
and I'm gonna have to dance around spoilers, but there is there's like a sizable action scene that involves kind of a showdown of sorts.
Yes, there is.
In that moment, I was like, 2010 Matt was like, Aaron Paul is Eddie Dean.
Eddie Dean, yeah.
Aaron Paul is Eddie Dean.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Aaron Paul is fucking Eddie Dean.
A lot of those vibes.
It was so, like, that was like the most satisfying thing for me. Like, that like 5-second clip, I was just like, oh my god, this is what I've wanted. This is what I've wanted.
Yeah.
When I spent 13 months reading the Dark Tower series. But the actual movie overall, I thought was very, like no one was asking for it.
No.
I was not even, I watched it well after it came out. Mm-hmm. Kind of on a whim and everything. It was not really on my radar, even though I love Breaking Bad, but it just didn't interest me or hook me. But like watching it, first of all, just Vince Gilligan and just Albuquerque and like the way that like it took me back to what I loved about the cinematography and the filming of Breaking Bad. Just the time lapses are just gorgeous.
Yeah.
But also just freaking Aaron Paul, man.
I know.
So amazing.
I loved the noirishness of it.
Yes.
It had a very noir feel, which the show didn't really have.
Yeah, not really.
Maybe some episodes did, but it was like hardcore noir.
Yeah.
In a phenomenal way.
Right.
Like I mean it as a compliment.
It was so...
Yeah.
It was so different from Breaking Bad, but similar.
Right.
Like, it was the same. And like, there were some parts where I kind of felt like, okay, they're just kind of, I don't want to say paying fan service to Breaking Bad, but it's like, okay, do we need this like reference or anything, or do we need him to do this or whatever? But overall, man, I was really into it.
Me too.
Yeah.
It worked so well for me. I cannot believe how much I missed Todd.
Oh my god, yes,
Jesse Plemons.
Plemons.
Oh my god, and I think I always like. if I think back to Breaking Bad, which is a show I want to rewatch, I want to talk Paige into watching it because she's never seen it.
Yeah.
When I never had a good way to describe Todd.
Sure.
When I was watching the show, but after watching El Camino, it just like something clicked in my head. Todd is a 10-year-old who never grew up. He's a 10-year-old stuck in a grown man's body.
Yes.
Because he's like, dude, do you like my bedroom?
I'll say
it's cool, right? And he doesn't have a good moral compass because he'll just like.
He's a 10-year-old trapped in a sociopath's body.
Yes. So he's a 10-year-old sociopath.
Yes.
Who grew into a man. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I totally agree. And there's also this, it's like, it's tinged with like this hero worship he has for Jesse.
Yeah.
And it's so, like, I was watching, I was like, because I didn't know what format the movie was going to take. I didn't know how much of flashbacks we were going to have with Jesse and with Todd and everything. But I was like, I would watch a whole series of like just Jesse Plemons and Aaron Paul playing off each other.
Yeah.
Because they were so good.
So satisfying to watch. God.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
I really love that movie. Like I forgot to add it into my. I have an ongoing list throughout the year of movies I think will make my top 10.
Yeah.
And usually it exceeds 10, and those are my honorable mentions. And I haven't put it on that list yet, but it's gonna be on that list. It's gonna be either in the top 10 or a close honorable mention.
You know what you could do?
What's that?
Put that list on Letterboxd.
I have it on Letterboxd.
Oh, okay.
It's just
I thought you just on Note.
No, it's just not public.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I don't want to make it public. You know, it's got to be a surprise. At the end
Same
of the
with
year.
me.
Yeah.
I have two lists. I have 2019 releases I've seen, which I have public, and then I also have the Obsessive Viewer top 10 movies of 2019, which is private until we record our episode.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. El Camino was great.
Yeah.
So good.
And it makes me want to go back and watch Breaking Bad.
Me too.
Almost makes me somewhat interested to see Better Call Saul. Have you watched any of Better Call Saul?
No.
Yeah.
I'm not that interested in it. I didn't really love the character of Saul on the show.
Sure.
I didn't like dislike him, but I was just so much more interested in the other characters.
Yeah.
I love Bob Odenkirk.
Oh, me too.
Great. But
yeah, and I watched the first season of Better Call Saul.
Okay.
The entire first season, and I thought it was okay.
Okay.
But it was just like, it was expanding the mythology and the world of Breaking Bad, which is fine, but it's also like, I don't care. I don't need it to be. Like, to me, Breaking Bad is Walter White and Jesse Pinkman.
And that show, the end of that show had such a beautiful bow at the end of it to wrap it up. You know, I had perfect closure with that show. And, you know, just like you said, nobody was asking for El Camino.
Right.
I wasn't necessarily wondering what happened to Jesse Plemons or what happened to
Pinkman.
Jesse Pinkman.
Yeah.
I wasn't really wondering. I was like, oh, yeah, I thought it was a kind of a happy ending for him in the show. So I was. So I hadn't really spent a lot of time thinking about Breaking Bad.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
And like, we even talked in the pod chat with Mike, who, by the way, today's Mike's birthday.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Mike.
Happy birthday, Mike. I don't know if he's listening, but to you guys listening, I shared this on social media and everything. Please go check out his band, As Good As It Gets. Their EP, Modern Parlance, came out about a month ago. It's seriously, like, and I said this sincerely on social media and everything. I've followed Mike and Dustin, their music for about 15 years now. This is seriously the best music they've put out.
Nice.
Like, ever. And like there's 5 tracks. I'll highlight the first 3. The first one is called Details, and I think that's Dustin's best, best vocals that I've heard Dustin do.
Wow.
And it's so good. The second one is Intertwined, the summer before 7th grade, I think. The best, like, lyrically the best song I've ever heard from them.
Wow.
It's so good.
Awesome.
It's so good. And then finally Jaded, which is, the third one, on the track list. That is the best vocals I've heard from Mike.
Wow.
Just so good.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
But we talked about it in the pod chat, and like, Mike put it well, and he said, like, there's been so much time from Breaking Bad that I don't, like, it doesn't interest him for El Camino. Like, it's not enough to interest him.
Right.
And I agreed, but, yeah.
Well, I hope he watches it.
Me too. I think he did, and I think he rated it like 3.5 stars, maybe.
Okay.
Also, nice to see Robert Forster in what is presumably his last role.
Was he in the show? Was that character in the show? I don't remember him.
Oh, it was last season.
Was it the last season? Jeez.
Yep.
Man.
Because spoilers, but if you haven't seen Breaking Bad, it's, spoilers. It's what happens to Saul. He disappears.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of the premise of Better Call Saul to an extent. It's like each season, I believe, starts with like a present day thing of just Saul, at least in the first season, like him working at like a Cinnabon or something.
Okay.
And then it's in black and white, and then flashes back to the backstory, which I like that as a concept because I think that each season begins and ends with a present day thing, and I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway, cool. Yeah, that was mine. Do you have another one?
Yeah, kind of my last thing. Okay. It'll be really brief, but it was something that I wasn't crazy about.
Ooh.
Because everything that else that I talked about was positive.
Mm-hmm.
I finally watched, this is a classic I had just never seen, Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh, interesting.
Have you ever seen it?
Yes, I have seen it.
Okay.
I'll tell you that story off mic.
Okay. Okay. I did not really care for the movie.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I really didn't like it.
It's Audrey Hepburn?
Audrey Hepburn, yeah. And she is something to like about the movie. She's really charming.
Yeah.
She's that, kind of an archetypical, like, kind of dream girl kind of girl. She's really beautiful. She's fun. She likes to party, all that stuff. She has a sense of humor and just like a very kind of charming romantic comedy kind of girl I want to get type.
Sure.
Archetype. And she plays that. I don't know if that character was kind of the invention of that archetype or not. I don't know if she was kind of the first one.
I don't know.
I can't really say, but
I don't remember the movie that well, but yeah.
Okay. But she was perfect as that. She's phenomenal. I really enjoyed her performance. But the movie's just it's just so off the wall. It's a very aimless movie. She's just kind of this party girl who goes to parties and she has kind of major issues in her life and kind of dark parts of her life that she just kind of pushes to the edge and doesn't think about. And I don't know. I didn't really care that much for the way it all came to the surface.
Okay.
And the kind of love story she has with the male lead in the movie. I wasn't really that into it. And, it's just a very aimless movie. It just kind of meanders through the story. And there's all this random stuff that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was intentional because that's kind of how the character's life is. She's a very off the wall kind of character and she just kind of goes with the flow. And so I don't know if that was intentional, but it didn't really work for me that well.
Okay.
Not to mention, I'd heard about it, but I'd never seen the movie. Mickey Rooney's.
I was gonna ask. I was gonna be a dick and be like, "So, what did you think of Mickey Rooney's performance?"
Yeah, blatantly racist performance.
Yes.
But for the time, you gotta grade history on a curve.
Yeah.
At the time, people were just like, "Oh, it's so funny! I love the performance. It's hilarious." Yeah. But now people would. Yeah. Lose their freaking minds.
And I'm going to go ahead we need to cancel Mickey Rooney.
Yeah.
He's been dead for 5 years.
Right.
But we need to cancel him, boycott everything that he's ever done.
Yeah.
Because in the 60s, he performed in a racist role.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't dig the movie. My Paige wanted to watch it and I was like, okay, I've never seen it. And
had she seen it before?
Yeah. And she actually said, she was like, you're probably not going to like it. I was like, oh, okay. And, I was kind of surprised at how well she gets me because I didn't really like it that much.
You were kind of surprised how well your wife gets you.
Yeah. It's just rare that people say that.
Oh, yeah.
People are usually like, oh, you're going to love this movie or I love this movie, but people don't typically say, you're probably not going to like it. So.
You're probably not going to like this, honey. Let's watch it.
Yeah. Well, no, I wanted to see it because, it's classic.
Oh, yeah.
Never seen it before. So, yeah, I just, I'm sure there's things about it that are, there are things about it that are charming and that are good, but just overall, I probably won't ever watch it again.
Yeah, I don't remember much of it. I just remember I don't remember. I can't comment on it.
Yeah. It's like they were trying to invent the romantic comedy, but didn't, but kind
sort
of
of,
failed.
yeah.
That's sort
I think there may be a theory or allegory in there about her having some kind of mental illness or something.
Yeah, that's right. I think I've heard that before.
Yeah. But that's about it. Yeah.
Right. So
yeah. Shall I round us out with...
Please do.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of rapid fire these three.
Okay.
Because what I did last time when we had Ben on is for Potpourri, I kind of did some of the Heartland stuff that I watched that I didn't cover on the website or on the podcast. So I've got three movies that I want to talk about that I haven't talked about on the podcast yet. First up is there are two documentaries and a narrative. First up is Always in Season. I'm going to read the plot summary on Letterboxd. Directed by Jacqueline Olive. When 17-year-old Lennon Lacey is found hanging from a swing set in rural North Carolina in 2014, his mother's search for justice and reconciliation begins while the trauma of more than a century of lynching African Americans bleeds into the present.
Oh.
So this was a very interesting documentary. I rated it 4 stars. Probably more like 3.5 because kind of inflated film festivals.
Sure.
Ratings.
Yeah.
But it was very interesting to me the way that it kind of covered the subject matter because it does a lot with it. Basically, it tells the story of the 17-year-old who was lynched in North Carolina and how justice was not served. There was no, it just didn't happen, but it juxtaposes that with kind of the history of lynching in this community. And one thing that I found really interesting and honestly kind of bizarre is that the community hires actors from the community each year to reenact a particularly brutal lynching that happened. And it's I get it, and I support them reenacting it because that particular lynching was never solved.
Wow.
And it's a crowd of people and stuff. Oh Jesus, there was a pregnant woman involved that the baby was cut out of her.
Jesus.
Just very disgusting, brutal stuff, and they reenacted it each year.
Wow.
To kind of bring awareness to it. I don't know if it's the exact same neighborhood that Lennon Lacey was in.
Okay.
But it's the same area. I feel like since it was doing kind of double and even triple duty in terms of covering the historical aspect of lynching in the area and lynching in America in general, and also covering this true crime investigation and crime that happened, this murder, this lynching, it kind of felt like it wasn't devoting enough time to both things. It was kind of splitting itself. So there's kind of it's about an 89-minute movie. About halfway through, we start to get more information about Lennon Lacey and his personal life, his friends and everything. It's they kind of hint that, or they kind of theorize that maybe one of his friends had something to do with it, but there's not, that's it, it's just conjecture. And it's I kind of wish that they would have just concentrated on that thing. It's important to tell the history and to tell the story of these reenactments and stuff, but I kind of wish that they would have had the resources to really dive into the investigation into the lynching of Lennon Lacey.
Okay.
So it was pretty good. Always in Season. It's a documentary. It was at Heartland. It might have a digital release or something sometime.
Okay.
The next one is, you heard me interview the filmmaker a couple of times in the Heartland episodes, We Shall Not Die Now, which is a documentary by Ashton Gleckman, who is a 19-year-old Indianapolis native. He lives in Carmel. It's a chronicle of the Holocaust told by the resilient survivors who lived through it. Amazing documentary.
Wow.
And I kind of harped in the Heartland episodes that dude's 19. It's
that
nuts.
Is wild.
He has his whole future ahead of him. So he travels to like all like these locations and like Poland, and he goes to the like remnants of the camps and stuff and everything, and like he has footage of there. But it's what I really respect about it. It's not like a travel log or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
He goes like he's shooting footage in these kind of hallowed grounds as like talking heads, and as his interviews are being played, like as it's very good. A very well constructed documentary, and I want to highlight one of the interviewees. Oh crap, I don't know who it was. Here we go. Dr. Michael Barenbaum. He is a scholar of the Holocaust and everything.
Mm-hmm.
The way that he articulates like what happened, and it's like articulates like the importance and the trauma and the tragedy and the just heinous level. Like he has a way with words that just, it's so affecting and moving and just so well said and well articulated that I was very taken with that.
Is Ava Kor in it?
They reference her, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. She just passed
away this year in the last few months, yeah.
Yeah, there was a documentary last year at Heartland, all about her.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think she was at the film festival last year.
Oh, cool, okay.
Yeah. But that's We Shall Not Die Now. It is going to be on Amazon Prime next month.
Oh, cool.
So definitely check out We Shall Not Die Now. Very impressive documentary.
That's awesome.
Yep. And then he also uses a bunch of archival footage. Are you familiar with the documentary Shoah?
No, but I'm familiar with the Shoah Foundation.
Okay. Well, there's a documentary called Shoah.
Okay.
That I guess Ashton Gluckman used, like he went to like the Holocaust archives and stuff or whatever.
Okay.
And he he got permission to use footage that was deleted from this documentary from the 70s. So he has like interviews from Holocaust survivors from the 70s that he has in this documentary. It's just just incredibly thorough, and I mean just really heartbreaking and moving.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. And then my final piece of potpourri is, and you would have heard my interview with Matt Ratner, the director of this, over in the second Heartland episode with the press junkets. Standing Up, Falling Down. It is directed by Matt Ratner, his directorial debut. He was a producer on the film Band of Robbers, which was at Heartland in, I think, 2016. So, Standing Up, Falling Down, I'll read the plot summary. A comedian about... Oh, shit. I'm going to take that again. A comedy about the unlikely friendship that kindles between a struggling stand-up comedian, played by Ben Schwartz, from L.A., forced to move back home to eastern Long Island with his tail between his legs, and a tragically flawed but charming and charismatic alcoholic dermatologist, played by Billy Crystal.
Oh.
Discovering to be kindred spirits, each helps the other find healing, in addition to the confidence to face the failures in their lives. I was really taken with this movie. It's very funny. There's a lot of good back and forth between Ben Schwartz and Billy Crystal.
Nice.
Of course, Ben Schwartz has a improv background, and Billy Crystal is freaking Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
It's so, like, it's just, they have this repertoire between them. Is that the right word? I don't know. They have such, like, good repartee in the movie.
Okay.
And it's so, like, charming, and, it really brings you into the kind of drama of each character. Like, Billy Crystal's character, is a widower, and who is kind of disconnected from his he's estranged from his children.
Okay.
One of, like, his son is played by, oh crap, what is his name? Nate? Nate Cordray.
Oh, yeah.
From, I almost call him Nate Cordray, which I think is a character in The Office. Nate Cordray, who was in Studio 60.
Uh-huh.
Man, he has like one scene in the movie. He knocks it out of the park. He is amazing. And what I loved about this is, like, it's funny, it's comedic. Billy Crystal is estranged from his family, and Ben Schwartz is back in town, and he is kind of like he's in town and he knows that the one that got away is there too. But the way that the comedy and the drama intertwine is really satisfying. Like, it kind of gets to a place where I could kind of see where it was leading. But I was overall very satisfied with it.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was really good. Standing Up, Falling Down. Hopefully you'll get a chance to see it sometime.
Cool.
Yep. And I think that'll do it for Potpourri, for extended Potpourri. Yeah.
Good sesh.
Yes, good sesh. So coming up on the podcast, I think we're going to do a special Knives Out, remaining Heartland red carpet, episode probably next week. And then, Disney Plus Potpourri and maybe some other stuff. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see. So, yeah, that'll do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for listening and for supporting us and everything. And check out Patreon, patreon.com/obsessiveviewer. I am probably going to, I'm going to record it'll already be up by the time you guys are listening to this, but, I'm going to record a video of my reaction to seeing The Twilight Zone tomorrow.
Oh.
The special Fathom Events screening of, six iconic, 6 or 3, 6 iconic, Twilight Zone episodes, followed by a little new documentary about Rod Serling in the theater, like on the
awesome.
big screen.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna watch The Twilight Zone in a movie theater. Like, freaking amazing.
It's cool.
So look forward to me gush about that. And, yeah, that'll do it. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
And now, here's a short clip from our Patreon exclusive RSS feed. To hear the full clip and more exclusive Patreon content, go to patreon.com/obsessiveviewer and become a patron at the minimum rate of $1 per month. Thank you and enjoy.
Pork.
By the way, I ordered pizza last night, and like, as I was eating it, I was like, and this just shows just how single and alone I am. I was sitting there eating pizza on my little, makeshift table that is a bar stool, watching Disney Plus and looking at my cat, when I thought, like, what is pepperoni? Cause I had never questioned, like, what type of meat it was.
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea. And I Googled, what is pepperoni?
Yeah.
By the way, that's the title of this Patreon thing.
The Obsessive Viewer podcast is edited and produced by Matt Hurt and presented by ObsessiveViewer.com. For a full archive of our episodes, go to ObsessiveViewer.com/OV archive. You can also like our Facebook page and join the OV Facebook group at Facebook.com/TheObsessiveViewer. And follow us on Twitter at ObsessiveViewer and at ObsessiveTiny. And follow our recurring co-hosts at I am Mike White, that's me, at R.A. Feckus, and at Burger_Lurker. If you enjoy the show, please take a couple minutes to leave us a rating and a quick review on Apple Podcasts. This is the easiest way to support what we do, and all it costs is a little bit of your time. If you'd like to donate to the podcast, you can make a PayPal donation at obsessiveviewer.com/donate. Or support us on Patreon for recurring donations and access to commentary tracks and B-roll audio recorded exclusively for patrons at patreon.com/obsessiveviewer. Every donation goes toward paying the fees to keep the podcast running and is greatly appreciated. For official Obsessive Viewer merch, including shirts, mugs, phone cases, and more, visit our TeePublic store. You can find a link to the store in the show notes of this episode and at obsessiveviewer.com/donate. Or you can simply search for Obsessive Viewer at teepublic.com, T-E-E, public.com. For information about our annual live event showcasing short horror films from local filmmakers, check out shocktoberInIrvington.com. And for an archive of all our events, as well as news about potential future events, head over to obsessiveviewer.com/live. For more podcast content, you can find Anthology, Matt's solo podcast covering The Twilight Zone, and other classic and contemporary science fiction anthology TV shows at anthologypod.com and on Twitter at OVAnthologyPod. You can also find Tower Junkies, a podcast where Matt and Tiny share their love of all things Stephen King and his magnum opus, the Dark Tower series, at towerjunkiespod.com and at towerjunkiespod on Twitter. And finally, check out The Secular Perspective, Tiny's side project podcast, which tackles current events and life's big questions from the perspective of secular hosts Chad and Amanda at thesecularperspective.com. The theme music for The Obsessive Viewer comes courtesy of the band Loudlike from their EP, Mistakes We Must Make. Additional bumper music is provided courtesy of As Good As It Gets, which can be found at facebook.com/asgoodasitgetsband. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Kitty!